When you stop caring, watch how she changes. Have you ever noticed how things start shifting the moment you stop trying so hard? Like when you finally stop chasing, stop explaining yourself, stop overthinking, suddenly everything feels different. Have you ever wondered why that happens, especially in relationships? Why does she start acting differently when you finally stop caring the way you used to? Today, we're diving deep into that exact moment, that quiet turning point when you pull back and everything starts to change. The power of pulling back. Let's be real, we've all been there. You care so much that it starts to hurt. You text first, you make plans, you try to fix things, and somehow it feels like the more you care, the less the other person does. It's confusing, frustrating, and honestly a little painful. But something interesting happens when you finally stop pushing for her attention. When you stop caring in that desperate, anxious way, you shift the energy completely. See, people often value what they feel they might lose. When you were always available, she didn't have to think twice. She knew you'd always be there, waiting, ready to fix things. But when that changes, when you suddenly go quiet, when you stop explaining, when your world doesn't revolve around her anymore, it throws her off balance. It's not about playing games. It's about reclaiming your peace. This isn't about pretending you don't care at all. It's about caring in a healthier way, caring for yourself first. Because when you finally pull back your energy, when you stop making her the center of your world, she starts to feel that absence. It's like suddenly the warmth she got used to is gone, and she starts to wonder why. Why it affects her so much. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you stop caring so much, you create emotional distance, and that distance changes the dynamic instantly. Psychologists call this the law of scarcity. Basically, we tend to value what's not easily available. It's human nature. When something or someone becomes less predictable, we start paying more attention. So, when you step back, she starts to feel that space. Maybe she won't admit it right away, but it hits her. She starts noticing the silence, the missing texts, the absence of those good morning messages. The same things she once took for granted suddenly stand out. And here's the thing, she might even start to chase a little, not because she's trying to play you back, but because the human mind hates uncertainty. We all crave validation, especially from people who once cared deeply about us. When you stop giving her that constant reassurance, it forces her to reflect. She starts wondering, wait, did he stop liking me? Did I do something wrong? That little doubt creates curiosity, and curiosity, over time, turns into attention. How the energy shifts? Think about how the energy felt when you were constantly trying. You probably felt tense, anxious, always waiting for a response, always hoping for more effort from her side. But when you stop caring that much, your energy changes. You're no longer reaching, you're standing still, calm, grounded, and that's powerful. She feels that difference even if you never say a word. Energy is silent but noticeable. Suddenly, you're not reacting the way she expects. You're not available 24/7. You're not chasing. That shift makes her see you differently, not as someone who's desperate for her attention, but as someone who values himself. And that's attractive. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It's in the way you no longer explain yourself. It's in the way you focus on your life again, your goals, your friends, your peace. People can sense when your world doesn't revolve around them anymore, and often that's when they start paying closer attention. The psychology behind it? There's actually a psychological explanation for this. When someone feels like they're being pursued, they subconsciously pull back. It's called the pursuer-distancer dynamic. The more one person chases, the more the other retreats. But when you stop chasing, the pattern flips. Suddenly, she's the one feeling the distance, and the mind naturally wants to close that gap. That's why so many people notice that their partner becomes more affectionate or attentive after they stop overgiving. It's not magic, it's balance. Relationships thrive when both people feel the need to invest, not when one person is doing all the work. The truth is, when you stop caring so much, you stop feeding the imbalance, you stop rewarding the lack of effort, and when that happens, she realizes that she has to meet you halfway. It's not about manipulation, it's about equilibrium.
Because when someone gets too comfortable, they stop trying. But when that comfort is gone, they start remembering what it feels like to earn your attention again.
What happens next? At first, she might test you. Maybe she'll ignore you. Maybe she'll act like she doesn't care. But deep down, she's paying attention. She's watching what you do, how you respond, whether this new version of you is real or just a temporary phase. If you stay consistent, calm, focused, and emotionally steady, she starts to see that this isn't about ego, it's about growth. And that's when things change. She may reach out more, become more affectionate, or even start opening up emotionally in ways she didn't before. It's like she suddenly sees what she almost lost, the version of you who used to care deeply, but also knew his worth. That balance between caring and letting go is what creates attraction again. But even if she doesn't change, you will, because when you stop caring so much about someone else's approval, you start caring more about your own peace. You rediscover who you are outside of that relationship. You realize that your happiness doesn't depend on how someone else feels about you. And that's the real shift, not just in her, but in you. Finding peace in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop forcing. It's that moment when you finally understand that you can't make someone see your value. They have to see it themselves. And when you stop trying to prove your worth, you start radiating quiet confidence. That's what truly changes the dynamic. She feels it. She feels that calmness in your voice, that lightness in your energy, that quiet assurance that you're okay, with or without her. And often, that's when she starts to realize what she's been missing. Because deep down, people are drawn to strength. Not the loud kind, but the kind that says, "I'll be fine, either way." The beauty of not caring too much is that it sets you free. You stop overanalyzing every text, every tone, every moment. You stop waiting for validation. You start living. You become present again. And that's when everything, not just your relationship, begins to align. When she starts to change. Once you stop caring the way you used to, her behavior often starts shifting in subtle ways. Maybe she starts initiating more. Maybe she asks questions she never used to. She might even bring up memories, trying to reconnect emotionally. It's her way of testing the waters, to see if that version of you she once had is still there. But here's the key. Don't slip back into the old pattern. The reason she's changing is because you've changed. If you start caring too much again, that balance disappears. The magic lies in staying grounded. Show warmth, but not weakness. Show interest, but not obsession. Let her see that you're still the same person, just wiser now. Because what she's responding to isn't your absence, it's your self-respect. When you stopped caring in that unhealthy, all-consuming way, you became more attractive, more mysterious, and more balanced. That's the version she's drawn to. The lesson we all learn eventually. At the end of the day, this isn't really about her. It's about you. It's about learning that caring deeply doesn't mean losing yourself in the process. When you stop caring too much, you start seeing things clearly, who truly values you, and who only valued your effort. And yes, sometimes when you stop caring, she changes. But even if she doesn't, you change in ways that matter more. You become more peaceful, more confident, and more in control of your emotions. You stop trying to chase love and start attracting it naturally. Because love, at its best, isn't about begging for attention or proving your worth. It's about two people meeting halfway, equally interested, equally invested, equally free. And that balance starts when one person finally stops caring too much and starts respecting themselves enough to walk away if needed. So the next time you feel like you're the only one trying, take a step back, breathe. Let go of the need to control how things turn out. Stop caring in that anxious, exhausting way that drains your energy. Instead, care for yourself, for your peace, your growth, your happiness. Because when you do that, everything changes. She changes. The dynamic changes. And most importantly, you change. And that quiet transformation that happens when you stop caring too much, that's the moment everything starts to fall into place.